At our 10th anniversary party, my husband welcomed the woman he once planned to marry, kissed her cheek, and asked me to leave. 80 guests watched Adrian take my hand, place a brass hotel key in my palm, and whisper, "Go to room 1214. Lock the door, find the red box, and do not come back until midnight." I thought it was a cruel joke. Lillian Hart, his elegant, impossible to ignore ex, stood beside him wearing the same shade of red she had worn in their old engagement photographs. She smiled at me like she had already won. "You heard him, Emma," she said. "This conversation isn't for you." My face burned as people looked away, pretending not to enjoy my humiliation. I asked Adrian whether he was ending our marriage in front of everyone. He did not answer. He only squeezed my fingers and murmured, "Whatever you see upstairs, remember that I chose you." Then he turned back to Lillian. I walked out before my tears could fall. Upstairs, room 1214 was dark except for a lamp beside the bed. A red wooden box waited on the table. Inside was a photograph of my mother holding a newborn baby. The date written on the back was 2 years before I was born. Around the baby's wrist was a silver bracelet, identical to the one I had worn for as long as I had a birth certificate, with the child's name blacked out, a small digital recorder, and a note in Adrian's handwriting. It said, "Press play only after the ballroom doors close." I called him anyway, but my call went straight to voicemail. From the window, I could see flashes from cameras below as Lillian stepped onto the anniversary stage beside my husband. She rested one hand on his shoulder while he stood silent. The sight made my stomach twist. Then, someone tried my door. The handle moved once, slowly, followed by a man's voice. "Mrs. Mercer. Hotel security. Your husband asked us to bring you downstairs." I looked through the peephole. The guard wore a silver shield pin on his lapel. Adrian's second note was taped beneath the recorder, "Trust no one wearing silver." I backed away without answering. The man tried a keycard, but the deadbolt held. After several seconds, his footsteps disappeared. I pressed play. A woman's voice filled the room, weak but unmistakable. It belonged to my mother, who had died when I was 9. "Emma, if you ever hear this, then the lie has finally reached you. The woman you fear is not your enemy. The man who raised you is." Before she could explain, the recording cut off. Then the connecting door behind me opened, and an elderly woman in a nurse's uniform stepped inside. She looked at the bracelet on my wrist and whispered, "Thank God. Helen's second daughter is still," was Nora Bell, "alive." She claimed she had been the night nurse when my mother gave birth at a private clinic 34 years earlier. I told her my mother had given birth only once, to me. Nora shook her head. "That is what Richard paid the records to say." Richard was my father, the man who raised me after my mother died. He was downstairs at the party, sitting in the front row like a proud parent. Nora said my mother had delivered another daughter 2 years before me. That baby's father was a wealthy married man who created a secret trust for his child. Richard discovered it, arranged an illegal adoption through the Hart family, and later married my mother. Who was the first baby? I asked. Nora looked toward the ballroom lights below. The answer is standing beside your husband. My mind went immediately to Lillian. I wanted to dismiss the story. as madness, but Nora knew details no stranger should have known: the crescent birthmark beneath my shoulder, the lullaby my mother sang when I had nightmares, and the reason my bracelet never opened. She pressed a hidden catch, revealing 2 engraved initials inside, E and L. Before I could ask what they meant, the room phone rang. Richard's voice greeted me. "Emma, your husband has embarrassed you enough. Come downstairs with me. I'll take you home." Behind his concern, I heard something colder. He knew exactly where I was. Nora covered the receiver and whispered, "If he reaches this room before midnight, your mother's truth disappears again." Then the hallway elevator connecting door into an empty suite as footsteps approached. Through the thin wall, I heard Richard enter room 1214 with the security guard. He demanded the red box. The guard said it was gone. Richard's calm voice sharpened. "Then find my daughter before Adrian makes her listen." The way he said my daughter sounded less like love and more like ownership. Nora handed me a tablet connected to a hidden camera in the ballroom. On screen, Adrian raised a champagne glass while Lillian stood beside him. 10 years ago, he announced, I married Emma because she was the one person I could never lie to. The guests applauded, unaware that he had spent weeks lying to me. Lillian leaned toward his microphone and said, "Then tell them why you invited me." Adrian looked directly at the camera, as though he knew I was watching. "Because someone in this room has spent 34 years hiding what he did to 2 women and the children they loved." Richard appeared on the feed moments later, smiling as he returned to his seat. Nora explained that Adrian had discovered irregular transfers from the trust connected to my mother's first child. Every year, millions had moved through a company controlled by Richard. Lillian had traced the money, but proof of the original crime was still missing. It was hidden in the red box. I opened the false bottom and found a hospital identification band stained brown with age. The name printed on it was Lillian Elena Vale. Vale had been my mother's maiden at the band until the letters blurred. Lillian had always been the woman Adrian's family compared me to. More polished, more connected. The woman he might have married if their engagement had not ended without explanation. Now a hospital band suggested she had once carried my mother's name. "Is she my sister?" I asked. Nora refused to answer. "Not until you hear Helen's full recording." The rest was stored on a memory card hidden inside my bracelet, but we needed the recorder from the other room. Before we could move, the security guard forced open the connecting door. Nora shoved the tablet into my hands and told me to run. I slipped into the service corridor while he grabbed her. I could hear Richard ordering him not to hurt me because he still needed my signature. The corridor led to a staff elevator, but when the doors opened, Lillian was standing inside. I froze. She wore no smile now. Her eyes were wet. "Adrian said you would run from me," she said. "I told him you would run toward the truth." I accused her of destroying my anniversary and trying to take my husband. She flinched. I ended my engagement to Adrian 12 years ago, after finding a photograph of a little girl in my father's safe. 3 months ago, I saw your face in an anniversary announcement and realized you were that girl. She held out her hand. In her palm was the matching half of my silver bracelet. Before I could take it, Richard stepped into the corridor behind her and raised a gun. Richard told her to step aside, calling her an ungrateful heart. She answered, "That was never my name." His hand trembled as he aimed the gun. He said my mother had ruined everything by trying to expose the illegal adoption and the money he had stolen. Nora had helped Helen copy the records, but Richard found her before she could reach police. I asked whether he caused my mother's car crash. His expression gave me the answer before his words. Did? Helen would not stop, he said. She wanted the child back. She was going to take the trust. The company, all of it. Lillian's phone was recording from inside her clutch. Adrian's plan had been to make Richard believe I was isolated, humiliated, and ready to leave with him. Lillian's appearance was bait. My public rejection was the performance that convinced Richard to come upstairs and recover the evidence himself. But Adrian had never told me because Richard watched my calls and had paid hotel staff to report every move I made. Sirens sounded faintly below. Richard heard them and grabbed my wrist. The gun pressed against my ribs. Tell them this was a misunderstanding, he ordered. Adrian appeared at the end of the corridor, alone and unarmed. Richard smiled. Choose carefully. Your wife or your ex? Adrian looked at Lillian, then at me. You still think this is about me, he said. It has always been about what you stole the stairwell, but I twisted the bracelet open and drove its sharp clasp into his hand. The gun struck the floor. Lillian kicked it away, as Adrian pulled me behind him. Police flooded the corridor and arrested Richard along with the guard he had paid. Downstairs, detectives recovered financial ledgers, falsified birth records, and the original recording of my mother's statement. Richard had arranged Lillian's adoption through the Hart family, then married my mother, so he could control the trust created by Lillian's biological father. When Helen tried to reunite with her first daughter and expose the theft, Richard caused the crash that killed her. For 25 years, he raised me inside the very lie she had died trying to reveal. In a private conference room, Lillian joined the two halves of our bracelet. A hidden compartment released the memory card. My mother's complete message confirmed what neither of us was ready to say aloud. Lillian was my older half-sister. She had not come to my anniversary to reclaim Adrian. She had come because the anniversary was the only event Richard would attend without suspicion, and because she wanted to meet me after the truth was safe. She touched the faint scar near her wrist where the Hart family had removed her original hospital band and said, "I hated you before I knew you. You had the mother I remembered only in dreams." I answered, "And I feared you because everyone told me you were the woman my husband never I could ask." He admitted he had discovered the connection 3 months earlier, when Lillian contacted him with the photograph. He wanted to tell me immediately, but detectives warned that Richard would destroy the last evidence, or hurt me if he realized the investigation was closing in. "So you let me think you chose her," I said. "You let an entire room watch me leave." He did not defend himself. "I convinced Richard, because I also convinced you." I'm sorry. His plan had saved my life, but it had also used my deepest fear as a weapon without my consent. I removed my anniversary ring and placed it on the table between us. Lillian looked away. Adrian's face broke, but he nodded. "I will wait as long as you need." I did not end our marriage that night. I also did not forgive him simply because his intentions were good. Love can protect you and still wound you. Trust cannot be rebuilt with one heroic explanation. Over the following months, Richard was charged with murder, kidnapping, fraud, and conspiracy. The stolen trust was restored to Lillian, and she used part of it with the estate recovered from my mother to create a legal fund for adults searching for relatives separated through illegal adoptions. The woman I believed had come to steal my husband became the sister who helped return my name, my history, and my mother and I returned to the same hotel, not for another party, but for one quiet dinner. He had spent 12 months answering every question, attending counseling, and learning that protection without honesty can become another form of control. I wore my ring again only after I chose to, not because danger had passed or because he had earned a dramatic ending. I chose it because he finally understood that loving me meant trusting me with my own life. Lillian sat across from us, wearing our mother's bracelet beside mine. At midnight, the hotel lights reflected in the glass, and I remembered the moment Adrian had asked me to leave. I had believed that door closed on my marriage. In reality, it opened onto the family stolen from me before I was old enough to speak. But the truth did not erase the humiliation, and justice did not make every wound disappear. It gave me the right to decide what happened next. So tell me honestly, if your husband publicly chose his ex and asked you to leave, could you trust that he was protecting you, or would that betrayal end the marriage before the truth came out? Share your answer in the comments, and subscribe to Dust to Justice for more relationship mysteries, hidden family betrayals, and endings where the person everyone dismissed finally gets the truth, the choice, and the justice they deserve.